Through the prayers of Holy Fathers, Lord Jesus Christ, our God, have mercy on us and save us. Amen. And welcome to this YouTube channel, where we read on daily basis the life of saints has been celebrated by the traditional Orthodox Church. Today, the 24th of June, according to the civil calendar, is at the same time the 11th of June, according to the church calendar. Today, we commemorate the Holy Apostle Bartholomew. He was one of the 12 great apostles. It is generally agreed that Bartholomew and Nathanael are one and the same person. He was a companion of the Apostle Philip and his sister, the Virgin Mariamne. He accompanied St. John, the theologian, in preaching the gospel in Asia. He also preached the Holy Gospel in India and finally in Armenia, where he died a martyr in Hierapolis. The Holy Apostles, by their prayer, killed a great snake which had been kept in a temple and defiled by the pagans. In this same town, they restored the sight of one Statius, who had been blind for 40 years. This roused the mob against them, and Philip and Bartholomew were crucified. Bartholomew, upside down, suddenly a great earthquake struck, and the earth opened up and swallowed the mayor, together with all the pagan priests. And a multitude of the impure, seeing this as punishment from God, many ran to take the apostles down from their crosses, but Philip was already dead, although Bartholomew was still alive. After that, Bartholomew went to India, where he preached and translated the Gospel of Matthew into the Indian language. After that, he moved to Armenia, where he cured the king's daughters of madness. But the king's envious brother, Astyages, took the apostle of God and crucified him, then had him flayed and beheaded in Armenia, town of Albanopolis. His body was buried by Christians in a leaden coffin. When many miracles had been wrought over his relics, pagans took the coffin and threw it into the sea. But the sea carried the coffin to the island of Lipara, where the bishop Agathon, who had been warned by revelation in the dream, was waiting for it, and buried it in the church. St. Bartholomew appeared to St. Joseph, the hymnographer, in church one day, robed in white, and blessed him with the gospel to sing spiritual songs, saying, "Let streams of heavenly wisdom flow from thy tongue." He also appeared to the Emperor Anastasius in 491, and told him that he would protect the newly built town of Dera. Later, the relics of these apostles were translated to Benevento and then to Rome. Great and wondrous miracles had been wrought over them. The Holy Apostle Barnabas, one of the 70, he was born in Cyprus of wealthy parents of the tribe of Levi, and studied with Gamaliel together with Saul. He was first named Joseph, but the apostles called him Barnabas, son of consolation, because he had a great gift for comforting men's souls. After Saul's conversion, Barnabas was the first to welcome him among the apostles. After that, with Paul and Mark, he preached the gospel in Antioch and other places. All accounts agree that he was the first to preach in Rome and in Milan. He suffered at the hands of the Jews on the island of Cyprus, and was buried by Mark at the western gate of the city of Salamis, holding a copy of the Gospel of Matthew, which he had transcribed with his own hand. His grave remained unknown for several centuries, but when many people had been healed of sickness in that place, it became known as a place of healing. In the time of the Emperor Zeno, the apostle appeared 3 times in 1 successive night to Archbishop Bartholomeus of Cyprus, and revealed the whereabouts of his grave. This revelation by the apostle took place just at the time when Peter, the power-hungry patriarch of Antioch, was seeking to bring the Cypriot church under his jurisdiction. After the revealing and finding of the miraculous relics of the Holy Apostle Barnabas, it was established that the Cypriot church, as an apostolic foundation, should be independent until the autocephaly of the Church of Cyprus was finally confirmed. The feast of the icon, Asian esteem, and a miracle that was wrought in the front of it in the time of Patriarch Nicholas Chrysoverges. This miracle came about thus. One night, a monk was reading the canon of the Mother of God and singing, more honorable than the cherubim, in the skirt of the Pantocrator, now called after the icon. The monk elder had gone to Caris. Suddenly, a man appeared in the town and began to sing, Haitian Estin, it is very worthy, a hymn which till that time had been unknown in the church. The monk hearing this hymn was greatly struck both by the words of the heavenly singing. The stranger turned to the monk and said, We sing it like this at home. The monk desired to have it written down and brought to a marble tablet, onto which the stranger wrote the hymn with his finger, as though the tablet were made of wax, and then suddenly disappeared. This stranger was the Archangel Gabriel. The tablet was taken to Constantinople, and the hymn is sung to this day in the church. For those who are not familiar with the text, it is as follows. It is verily worthy to bless thee, the Theotokos, the ever blessed, entirely blameless, and mother of our God, more honorable than the cherubim, and beyond compare more glorious than the seraphim, who display without corruption God the Logos, the very Theotokos, we magnify thee. For consideration, a true friend prays to God for his friend. A true friend cares about the salvation of his friend. So, to draw a friend back from false ways and set him on the true path, that is a precious friendship. The saints of God are man's greatest friends. The two young men, Barnabas and Paul, were friends and went together to Gamaliel school. When Barnabas became a Christian, he persistently and with tears prayed to God that he would enlighten Paul's understanding and turn his heart, that he too might become a Christian. Barnabas often spoke to Paul about Christ the Lord, but Paul mocked him and taught him misguided. But the gracious Lord did not leave Barnabas' prayer unfruitful. He appeared to Paul, turned him from the false way, and set him on the way of truth. The converted Paul fell at the feet of his friend and cried, O Barnabas, teacher of the truth, now I am convinced of the truth of what you said to me about Christ. Barnabas wept for joy and embraced his friend. The friend saved his friend's soul. By his fervent prayers, if Barnabas had succeeded in making Paul emperor of Rome, he would have done less than he, in fact, did by bringing him to the truth by his prayer. Thank you for listening. I pray that the good Lord will bless you. If you are not subscribed, kindly do, and help us to share this video to as many as possible number of people for the spiritual upliftment of their souls. Amen. Thank you. In the name of the Father, not the Son, not the Holy Spirit, I want to God. Amen.